Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Eric Johnson. I want to talk about how to stay sober by making money online. And I'm just being totally blunt, totally honest. And yeah, I do have an opportunity I want to talk about. But here's the thing. So when I was growing up, I was motivated to make money. Even when I was a kid, I was greedy. My grandma called me greedy. And I just wanted to make it in life. And I wanted to prove to my parents that I was worth something because alcohol almost took me out. It almost killed me dozens of times. I don't even need to list off all of the things it did to me, but when I discovered alcohol when I was 17, when I first tasted alcohol and it touched my lips, so it did something to me. It made me feel alive. It made me feel invincible. It made me feel courageous with the opposite sex. It made me speak up, and it made me feel alive. It just lit up every cell in my body. I loved it. I loved the buzz, and I just wanted more and more and more. And eventually I became a very bad alcoholic. I mean, it took everything away from me that I was trying to build. In the beginning, it felt like it gave me everything, but in the end, it took everything. And at the end of my drinking career, I was living in a converted school bus that was broken down. There was empty beer cans all over the floor. My only friend was he was a almost homeless guy. He was on a disability. He would go to the food bank and he mumbled, and he had long greasy hair that went over his face, and people called him Animal. And that was my only friend. And he would come over and he would just mumble, and we would drink together in silence. Okay, that was my life. And then I would puke up the morning beer. I stopped eating food because I didn't want it to ruin my buzz. I could only afford $6 worth of beer a day, and I started drinking Steel Reserves, which I don't know what they put in those beers, but it was extremely demonic and horrible tasting, and it was like 12%, and very strong stuff. And so I was getting drunk twice a day too. I'd wake up in the morning and I would crack open a beer and I would vomit the first beer all over the floor, and then I would try to get it down, and it just barely made me feel normal. And then I would get drunk and pass out, and then by dinner I would wake up again, and my dinner was more malt liquor. And then I would pass out, black out, do horrible things, and hear about it the next day if I was around some ex-girlfriend. And that was my life for many, many years. All the ambitions I had of doing anything with my life was gone. My hobbies were gone. My interests were gone. I didn't even care. I didn't even care anymore. I didn't even care about music. I just sat in a dark room and rocked back and forth and cried periodically while my ex-girlfriend was at work. It was a horrible life. And then she would bring home a six-pack and I would start it all over again. And I would stop showering. I couldn't be bothered to even clip my fingernails and go to take a shower. Okay. And then when I was blacking out, I would piss the bed. So it got to the point where I wasn't even changing the sheets on my bed anymore. I was like, screw it. I'm going to just sleep on the mattress. Matrix. I just slept on the mattress because I didn't want to change the sheets anymore. So that is where alcohol took me. But when I finally got sober by the grace of God, it was just this one crazy day. This guy came over. He was looking for my ex-girlfriend, and he called me a weirdo. And I couldn't kick him out because I was in bed trembling, and I sleep in the nude, so I couldn't get up to kick him out. And he just made fun of me for like 10 minutes. And strangely enough, that was what it took for me to finally get sober. Like all the other times, friends were telling me I was going to die. The heart attack I had when I was 32, nothing, going to jail, losing jobs, losing girlfriends, nothing. I didn't care about any of it. Okay. The only thing that I cared about was some guy shaming me, making me feel weak, making me feel so pathetic that I was like, dude, if I'm going to have this punk talk to me like this and I can't do anything about it, there's something seriously wrong with my life. And at that moment, I was like, I'm done. And literally after that guy, when that guy left the house, um, I took the last 2 beers that were in the fridge at the ex-girlfriend's house, and I walked back to my converted school bus. And I sipped on those beers really slow, and that was it. I slept like 14 hours. I had to go back to this job. I could barely walk because I had been sitting for so many years, just sitting and rocking and drinking beer, that it was very hard for me to gain my strength back, my legs. And because I was starving to death also, and just drinking malt liquor instead of food. So by the grace of God, I stopped and slowly started mending my life back together. And I got 2 jobs, and I was, in the restaurants. You don't make a lot of money. So I would have to work 12 to 14 hours a day to make about $100 after taxes. 14 hours a day, 2 jobs, only $100. Because I was never going to be a waiter, because I had social anxiety. I didn't like people. I just wanted to be left alone. And so I just always stayed in the back of the house, the kitchen. And, you could daydream and just cut onions all day, and it's brainless, And so when I got sober, I was like, okay, I'm going to just work a lot and make good money. I'm going to repair my life. And so I was slaving away in these 2 jobs, and I didn't have a life, and I'd go home and I would smoke a cigarette and watch some porn and go to bed. And it was like that for 2 years until I met my future wife, who I'm with still today. But, it was still pathetic. I was working my life away, watching porn, smoking cigarettes, not doing the greatest things, even sober. And so eventually, with my new wife, she was working online. She was actually doing a psychic hotline, and she was making decent money. And making money from online, I was like, what is this? It didn't make sense to me at all. And so I got a laptop, and I started on the platform Twitter. And when I got sober, I wrote an ebook, and it was pretty easy. I just wrote it in a Word doc and uploaded the Word doc with a book cover up to Kindle on Amazon. Uploaded it. I made an author bio, and then I tweeted the link to the book on Twitter. And I started following a ton of authors every single day on Twitter. And eventually I was making $40 to $80 a month. And I was like, this is amazing. I'm just selling a book over and over and over online. All I have to do is tweet a link and I make money. But there was, it was horrible sales, $40 a month. You can't live off that. And then the following year I was like, I got into affiliate marketing, and that's basically where you promote other people's products. You get a link when you sign up to a program, and then you just share your link. So it was the same concept that I was doing with my ebook. And I made $2,000 one summer. And I was like, this is amazing. But then I was like, there's no passive income in this. In order for me to make money, I have to keep promoting things, and there's no recurring commissions. There's no passive income with affiliate marketing. So 2014, I signed up to network marketing because there was passive income in that. And I saw that people were making a ton of money. Like the top leaders in the world were making over $500,000 a month. And I was like, what the heck is this? And so I joined a network marketing company, and it was like $80 to join and $40 a month to maintain my auto ship, because if you want to stay active, you have to have an auto ship. And I was like, all right. So I started tweeting that opportunity on Twitter. I created a MLM blog, and I created this not this YouTube channel, another one. And I just started talking about network marketing and trying to help people make money online. And it took a couple years, but eventually I made my first $80,000 year online in 2018 by promoting CBD oil, because everyone knew about CBD oil, so it was easy to promote. And I started positioning myself in the CBD market before it went mainstream. And I got into an MLM company that had CBD oil. So everything lined up, and I made $80,000 in 1 year. And I was like, this is amazing. So I fired my boss. I stopped working in restaurants. I started becoming a network marketer full time. And since then, I've made $1 million online, and it has kept me sober, because now, instead of thinking about drinking all the time and how to get beer and how to find more beer, I'm now thinking about how to set up my family for the rest of my life. Because once you get a network marketing business going with a team that's growing around the world, you can start making good passive income. In fact, I still make $12,000 to $15,000 a month from a company I joined 3 years ago, and I don't even promote it anymore. So if you are motivated to make money online and you want to stay sober, I want to work with you. So I'll leave a link in the video description. Sign up. You're going to have to buy a product every month on auto ship to stay in the compensation plan. However, if you stay in long enough, you could even earn commissions without recruiting. However, it's not a big amount of money. You know, it might help pay your groceries once in a while. But if you want to really start learning how to make big money, then you're going to have to learn how to invite people. But my business channel, my YouTube for my business, is on the homepage of this channel. So look at my business channel, but sign up, and you can email me questions, and it's pretty simple, okay? Basically, you sign up, and you're going to get a landing page in the email, a welcome email from the company, and you just take your link, and then you go to people that you know, and you say, through internet, you email people you know, and you say, hey, I got a game-changing way to make money online. If you're interested, I'll send you my link. If not, no big deal. And that's it. It's as simple as like recommending a movie to a friend. Keep it super simple and email 5 people a day, and then I'll teach you other ways to get leads. However, the company does have a done-for-you marketing co-op. If you buy that, the company will start generating leads to your landing page, and they will call your leads for you. So everything to succeed is in the dashboard of this opportunity. So click the link in the video description. I've been sober 12 years. I've made over $1 million online, and I love life, and I can support my family. We can travel. We can do whatever we want, when we want, with who we want. And that's the beauty of working from home. I love you guys. Comment below. Like this video. Subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you at the top.